What's up, guys? Today's going to be a wife chit chat. I'm going to talk about what I learned my first 4 years as a wife, being that I've been married for 4 years now. I'm going to have a lot of things that I learned, some things that I didn't know, some things that I learned on the way. All right, let's go. So I am only 28 years old. My husband and I, we did get married when we were 24. We were young, but it was something that we both wanted, and we were really mature at that time and was ready, for marriage. One of the first things that I learned really quickly early on, which my husband and I both knew that we would need to do, was have open communication. Communication is definitely the biggest thing that I learned because everybody does not communicate the same. Initially, if I have something that's wrong with me, I'll just shut down. I won't speak. I'll just go over into like a different room where I'm alone. Where with my husband, if something's bothering him, he'll just kind of tell me right away, which is two totally different ways of communicating. He quickly let it be known that I'm not communicating the right way. I need to speak about how I feel, tell him what's wrong. So that was something I knew I had to work on, and something that, was brought to our attention. Like, communication really is key. Some people, when they get upset, they may just yell at the person or lash out, or they may like eat a lot or clean a lot. Everybody's different. But for myself, that's something that I did do and something that I learned and am still working through. It's not as bad as it was in the beginning, but of course, that's just something, that's how I usually cope. I like to be alone, I like to gather my feelings, and then I like to talk. But that's not fair to your husband if he likes to talk and get things out right away. So it's like at some point we have to meet in the middle and find that common ground and see what works for the both of you guys. Some couples, they may find that they do need that 1 hour to themselves, and they may just decide to like drop the topic, or what some people say table it, and then come back to the situation later. So that does work. But communication is key. If you guys talk about how you guys are going to work through differences, that goes back to communication. You guys have to first talk about how you guys are going to work through those things and what works for you guys. Another big thing is knowing your spouse's love language. That's something that I learned. Everybody receives love differently. Some people may receive love by spending time with them, going out on dates. Some people may feel loved if you buy them lots of gifts, cook for them, where some people may feel loved only by what you say, your words. So when you first are married, you love your spouse the way you feel loved. You don't necessarily love them the way they should be loved if you don't know in the beginning. So you can go, for example, all day doing acts of service for your spouse, cooking, cleaning, running errands, and you think you've done a great job, but your spouse can feel like totally empty and unloved because that's not how he receives love. If you early on recognize, hey, my spouse likes words of affirmation. Everything that you did, all those acts really mean nothing compared to a person who needs to hear those words. So knowing that really will help, because you avoid doing a lot of extra stuff that's really not needed. And then someone who has words of affirmation love language, that's something that can be done intentionally if you just remember. You can say, hey, I love you. Hey, you're doing a good job. Or somebody who likes physical touch, just, a kiss, holding hands, a rub on the back of the head, a massage, that goes a long way. That's something that I kind of figured out in the beginning, because my husband and I, we did kind of do like a workbook type thing where we recognized what love language was for us. And they also have quizzes online that you can take to find out what your love language is. As a wife, another thing that I learned is that you have to let your husband lead. This is really important because as a wife, you are supposed to be submissive to your husband. I use the word submissive, meaning you're supposed to just let them be the lead. Submission is a whole another topic and probably will be a separate video from today. But just know you have to let your husband lead when you're married. When you get married, your husband is now the leader. He is now the head of the household. So if you don't allow opportunities for your husband to lead, you can kind of like make your husband not feel, he won't feel good. He won't feel like he's the man of the house or the husband. You have to let your husband lead. That's just really important. Even if you feel like he's making a decision that's not best for the family or a decision that could be detrimental, you still need to submit yourself to him and then submit to God, because in doing that, you just have to just like let go of total control, which will just lead me to the next point that I learned. You have to trust God. If you trust God, you will be able to totally submit and let your husband lead. Even if you don't feel comfortable with certain decisions that are being made, if you trust God, you will then trust your husband and know that whichever decision is being made, God will take care of you guys, because you're being obedient not only to God by trusting him, but you also are being obedient to your husband. Another thing I quickly learned is you need to talk to your spouse about who is going to do what in the home, or if you guys are going to just take turns, or is it going to be one person's sole responsibility to do certain tasks. For example, cleaning, cooking, laundry, those things need to be brought up so you guys aren't having unsaid expectations in the marriage. If those things are spoken about and agreed on who's going to do what, you avoid a lot of situations. My husband and I, we did do a recent video on gender roles. In our house, it looks different. Who's cooking, who's cleaning, it looks different from society, and it may look different from your home. Whatever works for you, you guys should speak about that and talk about that and basically address who's going to do what, or if you guys are just going to take turns, or whatever works for you guys. But that's definitely important, because you don't want to get upset and have unset expectations. If there's a sink full of dishes and you're like, I cleaned the dishes last time, you need to clean the dishes, or I've been cleaning the dishes all week, you expect the other person to pick up if you did it majority of the time, or you expect that person to do it all the time. Those things need to be said, which kind of goes back to communication. If you guys just talk about it in the beginning, you guys will be straight. Another important thing as a wife, you want to make sure you don't lose yourself as an individual and as a person. It's really easy to get sucked in to being wife, being mom, and just playing that role 24/7. But if you can find time away from the house doing something that you enjoy doing, or just, engaging in different activities on a daily basis, because it's really easy to just get sucked into doing those roles every day that you kind of lose yourself as a person and forget what you like and forget, what you used to do before you were married. So just be intentional about finding time for yourself to do what makes you happy, to just make yourself feel good. If you do that, you will find yourself happy wife. As most people say, happy wife, happy life. But you won't be happy wife if you're not happy as a person and taking care of yourself and doing what makes you happy. Which brings me to my next point, remembering your goals. Everyone has goals. I'm pretty sure you had goals and set things that you wanted to accomplish before you became a wife. So just remember those goals you had in place. Make sure you're just doing small things to attain those goals. And just, staying committed to who you was as a person before you became a wife. Which brings me along to the next thing. Know what your husband's goals are and see how your husband's goals and your goals align together. As a wife, you are now one with your husband. So your goals and your husband's goals, they should mesh in some kind of way. You guys may not know it yet because you guys never taken the time out to look at them, but you guys need to look at your goals together and see where you guys can come together. Again, as a husband and a wife, you guys are one. So if you address your goals to your husband and he addresses his goals to you, you guys can be supportive for each other's goals. You can see what your husband can do to help you attain yours, and then you can see what you can do to help attain your husband's goals. But just remember those goals that you had down before you became a wife, and just really work towards them and work together as a couple. My last point, which is really important, know that there's always a season for you as a wife. There will be seasons where your husband is, he's in a season where he's rocking, just got a raise, making lots of money, has good hours at work. And you may be in a low season at your life where maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, you don't really have job opportunities lining up. You feel like, you're just in a down place. That's okay, because as a married couple, you guys are one. Like I've said before, if your husband's winning, you're winning. And there will be times where your husband may be in a low season and you're in a high season. And that's just an opportunity, for you to just pray over your husband, still be supportive. And again, he will still be okay because you guys are on the same team. He's winning if you're winning. You're winning if he's winning. But no, when you're married and you're a wife, you will be in different seasons. Sometimes compare to your husband, but at the end of the day, whatever season your husband's in or you are in, you guys are one. You guys are together. So if he's winning, you're winning. If you're winning, he is winning. Just try not to get discouraged if you are the one that's in the low season, because seasons do change. Nothing stays the same. And before you know it, you will be on the other side. But you just want to make sure as a wife, you just enjoy every season of your marriage and every season in life, because you can find yourself always looking forward to the next season. I'm pretty sure when you were single, you were looking forward to the season when you are married. And now that you're married, you're probably looking forward to the season when you'll have kids. And then when you have kids, you're going to be looking forward to the next season when your kids move out. But if you're constantly looking at what's ahead and what's to come, you'll never fully enjoy the season that you're in now. So I just want to encourage everyone to just take a minute to ponder where you are now and just enjoy this season right now, and know that seasons change. You won't be here always, and to just enjoy every minute where you are. Thank you so much for watching this video. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.